From the first grunts and gestures, they sought connection. This was the dawn of communication, the beginning of everything. To survive in this dense jungle, early humans mastered the art of mimicry, listening intently to the myriad sounds of the forest.
Gestures, mimicking the hunt and the animals they pursued, formed the very foundation of their language and cooperation.
From the simple tapping of stone on stone, the earliest forms of rhythm and auditory communication began to emerge.
The earliest form of language wasn't complex grammar, but the simple pairing of sound and object.
For early man, sound was vital. A shout could mean the difference between life and death, coordinating the hunt or warning of danger.
By carefully observing the wildlife around them, these early humans began to unlock the power of imitation.
This simple act, drawing a spiral in the mud, marks the dawn of symbolic communication among early humans.
Across the water, these early calls and gestures mark the beginning of true conversational exchange.
Their signals are simple, yet powerful, allowing for complex coordination during the hunt.
Here we see the earliest signs of linguistic exploration. By modulating their calls, these hominids are...
It was how they ensured the survival of communication skills to the next generation. Early caution and stealth communication were vital tools for survival in this unforgiving landscape.
The challenge was linking a sound to an object.
Grak!
Yes, grak for stone.
Soon, they added concepts like food.
Nyam!
Repetition is the key to memory, the foundation upon which complex language is built.
We are witnessing the dawn of abstraction as these early humans begin to communicate complex ideas.
Social learning begins with mimicry. By imitating each other's calls, these early humans laid the foundation for the development of language. It was this cooperation, the ability to coordinate complex tasks through the beginnings of language, that allowed them to survive. The ability to create distinct warning signals and for the group to share an immediate understanding was a critical evolutionary step.
Here we see early man beginning to understand the properties of sound.
The rhythmic beat of the stones helped form the very first human languages.
Observation was key to survival. By mimicking the calls of the weaver birds, they began to understand the language of nature. This is the dawn of symbolic combination. When they linked the gesture for hear with the sound for food, they created the very first sentence.
The deep recesses of the cave amplify every sound, forcing an acute acoustic awareness on these early explorers.
Early humans began associating specific tones with objects. A low grunt for rock, a higher pitch for branch.
When a fresh track was found, the lesson began. The ability to teach these vital skills separated early humans from other predators.
As they began to experiment with their voices, they discovered that changing the pitch and volume allowed for complex communication.
Here we see the critical step, combining sound and movement for meaning. This fusion allowed them to convey complex information across the landscape. To these early humans, mimicry was a crucial learning technique, allowing them to understand and eventually communicate within their environment.
Here we see the foundation of culture. Peer learning allowed these groups to rapidly share new communication skills.
Here we see early man beginning to integrate sophisticated gesture-based communication with rudimentary vocal sounds.
This is where it all begins. The earliest forms of syntax, the dawn of structured communication.
The early humans discovered the unique acoustics of the cave, experimenting with the resonance of claps and shouts.
Here we see the dawn of language, the ability to assign meaning to a sound, and crucially, to commit it to memory.
While lacking modern language, these early groups used sophisticated gestures and calls. This early form of the group began experimenting with syllables. Ah.
Ka. Ma.
Here, on the precipice of the wild.
The early humans experiment with rhythm and sound patterns, developing complex communication signals. This simple call and response marks a critical step. It is the beginning of interactive learning.
For early humans, survival depended on practical communication. A sharp gesture, a distinct sound.
This nightly ritual was crucial for the reinforcement of early vocabulary.
It was through the imitation of movement that the first sparks of speech began to emerge.
These warning calls are crucial for survival. Through social learning, the group quickly understands and reacts to the imminent danger.
This experimentation with tonal variation marks a critical moment in the development of human language, moving beyond mere signaling. These rhythmic sequences are the foundation of language, allowing for complex communication.
Hey-ya-ho! Hey-ya-ho-ho!
By repeating simple sequences, these early humans are developing the very first linguistic patterns.
Kalakalako! Kalakalako!
This is the dawn of language, when early humans pointed to an object, like this fruit, and associated it with
Oh!
Through rhythmic repetition, early humans forged the first educational bonds.
By utilizing the natural acoustics of the gorge, these early humans are actively testing the limits of sound propagation in their environment.
As they looked up at the vastness above, the first stirrings of abstract thought began. They sought to map the heavens.
Studies suggest that this rhythmic behavior was essential for enhancing early language development.
To survive, they needed to communicate with precision. They began to link distinct sounds, like these, directly to the world around them.
Venturing into the darkness required a new form of communication. Early humans used subtle gestures and soft...
This was the dawn of language, where memory intertwined with the very first words.
Kyle! Kyle!
Through synchronized movement and shared experience, these early humans are developing the foundations of collaboration and social learning. Directional communication was vital, using a combination of gestures toward recognizable landmarks and distinct vocalization. The ability to link a simple vocal sound with a shared gesture marked a crucial step in their cognitive evolution. This was how knowledge was passed down, generation to generation, ensuring the survival of the tribe.
This echoing environment taught them about acoustic awareness, the very nature of sound traveling through space.
As they spread out across the meadow, the group began experimenting with tonal variation. These early expressive calls...
By observing the echoes, they began to understand sound reinforcement, a vital step in memorizing calls and communicating across great distances.
Here, by the firelight, we see the very beginnings of speech. Not just sounds, but repeated...
Through imitation, these early humans are discovering the bedrock of teaching, passing vital knowledge from one generation to the next. Their survival hinges not just on strength, but on a shared understanding, moving forward together as a team.
As the tribe grows, the need for complex communication increases. They practice combining gestures and sound.
Early language likely began with simple, repeated sounds linked directly to objects. This reinforcement mechanism was crucial for embedding new vocabulary.
Social learning, the ability to observe and mimic, allowed early humans to cooperate effectively, sharing vital knowledge for survival. The early humans began to grasp that sound traveled. The delay of the echo demonstrated the vastness of the space before them.
The rhythmic patterns they created were more than just sound. They were the genesis of communication, a shared sequence understood by the group.
In the flickering firelight, these early sequences of sound marked a monumental shift, the first tentative steps toward structured communication.
Maka! Ata!
As the sun rose, they found their voices. It was here